I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I wanted to stop for a second to talk about something that happened recently that really touched my heart. There's a guy that you have to know who he is. If you know anything about sports, then you know this brother. His name was Stuart Scott. Stuart just died of cancer at the age of 49. Excuse my voice. My voice is lost a little bit today. Um, and Stuart was an amazing guy. I mean, if you followed his career, which I have, since the early '90s, Stewart really revolutionized what sports commentary was. Even more so than Stephen A. Smith. I almost feel like Stephen A. was kind of riding off the back of Stuart Scott. Even though they're both amazing guys, they're kind of like the Oprah Winfrey's for black men in terms of just brothers that we can look up to who are doing their thing. Stewart, a little more so than Stephen A. We've critiqued Stephen A. in the past, but for the most part, I like what these guys are doing, and and Stewart was special for a few reasons. This is why I wanted to talk about him today to really celebrate his life. The first thing that Stewart did that really made him unique was he was not afraid to be different. He wasn't afraid to push the envelope to try to really revolutionized sports commentary. I mean, he was speaking in a way that brothers loved, that was really catchy and trendy, that was working. But he also had just a tremendous amount of sports intelligence that allowed him to back up his words with really good analysis. I mean, he knew sports as well as anybody. He just didn't do it like some straight laced nerdy white guy. He did it like a brother. He did it the way his spirit told him to do it, and it worked for him. He took that risk of being himself, and it worked. And I think that that's a powerful lesson for people who are kind of going through life thinking they have to be like somebody else in order to be successful. You really don't have to do that. You're always going to be better at being who you are than you ever will be at trying to be somebody else. And I re-emphasize that point because that's what led to my career kind of taking a turn for the better. I spent a lot of years trying to be a white man, just because I was allowed into certain exclusive clubs for white males, and I felt that the more I showed of my true self, the more I'd be ostracized, demonized, and vilified. And fortunately, I just got tired of being somebody I wasn't. And when I did that, that's when actually my life and my career kind of took off because I took some chances and they worked out. And I've been far more successful than I ever dreamed that I would be as a scholar. The second thing I will say to you is, and this is another thing we can learn from the life of Stuart Scott, which I think all brothers should find just absolutely admirable, is his love for his daughters. This man really epitomized the strength of black malehood, if you will, by making sure that he paid a tremendous tribute to his daughters. I think his daughters are 14 and 19 years old. And when he spoke at the ESPYs, he brought one of his daughters on stage and he talked about how much he loved them and how wonderful they are. And I just really think that that's an image, number one, that the world needs to see of black men because most black men I know really love their children. They love their children as much as everybody else. And I think that there is a negative stereotype that black males don't like their kids, or that they don't care about their kids, or that they're irresponsible and don't care about their families. And I think that that couldn't be further from the truth. And I think that for any men out there who are good at making babies but not good at taking care of babies, you need to take a note from Stuart Scott and understand that manhood is not just about doing what's best for you. It's about taking care of your people, taking care of the people you care about. So if you're hurting the people you care about, then you're not a man. You're a selfish prick. Excuse my French. But a true man stands up for the people that he cares about and provides for his family as best as he can and works to better himself. He continues to fight, and that takes me to my last point. And this is another point that I hope people will get from the life of Stuart Scott. Although there are many dimensions to this man's extraordinary life, I don't want to reduce it to three. But these are the three that stood out most to me. The first was his amazing commentary. Two was his strength as a father, love for his children. The third was just his strength as a human being. The fact that this man fought until the very end. I mean, This man had been diagnosed with cancer multiple times, and he's doing mixed martial arts. He was incredibly optimistic. He was pushing hard every single day to fight until the very, very end. And I think Stewart made a great point, and this is what led me to really respect him, because this is something I believe too. He said, look, winning the battle against cancer doesn't mean that cancer doesn't kill you. Cancer still might, take you out at the end. You win the battle by fighting until the very bitter end. As a great mentor of mine by the name of W.C. Benton, he's a professor at Ohio State University. As he said one time to me, he said, Boyce, he said, when I was in the Marines, he said, we understood that even if you are surrounded, even if you know you're going to die, you unload your gun until there are no more bullets in the clip. You fight until the very, very end. And that's something I want brothers to really understand. I mean, really anybody watching, white, black, male, female, whatever, that's fine. But I am kind of talking to the brothers a little bit here too, and mothers who have sons that they care about. You got to fight to the end. Sometimes you're not going to win, but you can't stop fighting just because you're not going to win, because the battle really is determined by your willingness to fight until the end. I mean, the fight determines the victor, not necessarily the randomized outcome. So, you know, understand that living your life by a set of principles that always lead you to fight, always lead you to do your best, always lead you to leave it on the court, so to speak, to take it to the very end. That's how you have an extraordinary life. I mean, that's how you get to do what Stuart Scott is doing. You get to go out like a legend, like a king. Stuart is not just respected for what he accomplished during his life. He's respected for the fact that he held it down until the very last breath. And I just think that's what makes him a great man. And I hope people will get that lesson from his life. Because as far as I'm concerned, Stuart Scott's not dead. We're sitting here talking about him right now. His legend is probably more alive now than it was last week. And that's what you call an extraordinary life. So go out here, times are going to be hard. Obstacles going to be in front of you. You're going to run into some just flat out depressing situations in your life. But commit yourself to the idea of fighting to the very end with everything you've got. Keep firing until every bullet is out of the clip. And that is how you go out like a legend. So, RIP to Stuart Scott. Love you, big homie. I miss this guy already. Just so you know, for the record, I never had a chance to meet Stuart in life. I met Stephen A. few times, but never got a chance to meet Stuart Scott, and I wish I had done that. But it doesn't matter. I wish him the best on the other side. I'm sure he's going to keep fighting in heaven too. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. I am gone. Peace.